Everybody, and welcome from IH Toruń. Believe it or not, it's actually 27 degrees and sunny outside, and yet only last week it was in the minuses and snowing. So a bit of a change here, but yeah, it's probably hotter than Spain, I don't know, but yeah. But here I am in a jacket indoors, unfortunately. Today I'm going to be talking about classroom management procedures. Okay, now when I refer to talking about classroom management, I'm going to obviously be talking mainly about managing young learners and teenagers. And talking about young learners, we're talking about sort of the age bracket 5 to 10, teenagers from 11 to 17. But of course, some of these procedures could even be used for adults as well, because, you know, let's face it, sometimes we're the worst, yeah? Well, we'll see about that. Okay, so the big question, obviously, is why? Why should we be implementing classroom management procedures in class? And the answer, of course, is really, really simple, because basically we want to be going from this image, yeah, can everybody see that? Yeah, to, of course, this image where everybody's motivated and enthusiastic and it's all calm. Well, maybe not necessarily calm, but it's managed, yeah? So remember, we want to go from this image, yeah, of the class back to this image, yeah? So let's have a look at this one. This is great. I found this on the internet, courtesy of, let me see if I can pronounce this, is it Matt Groening, not Groening, Groening. He's the creator, of course, of The Simpsons. And have a look at some of these. Can you relate to any of these issues, guys? Get typing away. Imagine you're the teacher, yeah? Adult learners have worse tantrums. Yes, Catalina, they can, because they have a very fixed approach what they want to learn, and if they're not getting what they learn, they can have a tantrum, I suppose. So yeah, look at this picture. Can you relate to any? Now, on the face of it, some of these issues in the classroom may be perceived as just, you know, being just general issues, nothing being too serious. But all these combined, and even just a couple of them combined, can obviously have a huge impact on classroom dynamics. Now, for example, you've got a kid there belching. Well, I suppose it a little bit rude, but a couple of years ago I had a young learner who was farting constantly in my lessons. And, you know, the very nature of it, he obviously was very, very loud. It was disruptive, and it did obviously affect the dynamics. So little things like that, or loud things like that, could, of course, affect the dynamics. Okay? Yes, Shay, sleeping, of course. You know, that obviously, you know, somebody's sleeping in class and not getting the benefit of it, and it can be very disruptive to not only the students, but you as well. You know, as a teacher, you're thinking, crikey, you know, my lessons are they really that boring? Okay, so, you know, all these things really, really help. Lucy, I think I prefer a sleeping student to a farting one. Indeed, indeed. Anyway, okay, so thank you to Matt Groening. So, basically, as teachers, we obviously have our own procedures. Yes, we have our own rules for the classroom. You know, make sure you put your hand up. Don't shout out the answer. Yes, and of course, a lot of you as well do classroom rules at the beginning of the course. Quite often, it's a contract. You get the students to create your own. Let's just very quick. I want to hear some of your ideas. What sort of procedures do you already use in your classroom? So get typing away, guys. It'd be nice to see some of your different approaches. I'm an inspector for International House, and basically, when I've visited schools, you know, I've really seen a lot of amazing ideas that teachers are using. Things like traffic procedures, giving out stickers to students, you know, motivational tools, which really helps to manage the class. Okay, Anna, I don't like contracts. Okay, I prefer working on community building, working on the idea of respect. That's a nice idea. Very, very good. Any other ideas coming out? See, Claudia's writing away. use a buzzer with different sounds. That's interesting. Okay, so if I have to press the buzzer, they lose points. Okay, and I can imagine the teenagers. I imagine it's the teenage young learners get really, get a buzz out of it. Pardon the pun. Kindly we have chatted about what makes them feel respected by other students. Okay, so that's kind of a mature thing. But yeah, I like that. I like that. Okay, yeah, terrible pun, Sean. I know. Anyway, okay, so thank you for your ideas. And it's great. So basically what I'm going to be doing today, I'm just going to show you just a few of our classroom management procedures here at the International Housing Forum. Okay, and these procedures are not rocket science. You might even be using some of these procedures yourself in your school. Okay, and I'm not going to take credit for any of these procedures. As always, you get ideas. Sorry, two people at the moment. Okay, shall I continue talking?
Us?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Can everybody hear me? Okay? Trying? Yeah. Okay, so I'm a little bit interrupted there. But yeah, I saw multiple people. I just saw Neil come in for a second. But okay, hopefully everything's okay. Not a problem, Neil. I will continue. So where was I? Yeah, so I'm not going to take credit for these procedures. And basically some of them I got from the former Director of Studies at IH Bydgoszcz, who in turn, I'm sure actually got them from another school as well. So these procedures, and I want to talk about them because they clearly work. Okay, we've been using them here at IH Toronto for the last 5 years or so, and I like to think our management procedures are going very, very well. So the first one I want to talk to you about, okay, are the alphabet cards. Okay, I've got a couple of them here. Okay, I'll just show that to you. A is for ant, B is for bee, and so forth. Yeah, and just colourful thing. On the other side it says IH alphabet cards. Can you collect them all? And this card belongs to, and you just write the name of the student on the back of them. Okay. So basically, how we use them in class. Here's our lovely senior teacher-to-be, Rachel Hunter, displaying some of these alphabet cards. Thank you, Rachel. You'll be seeing her later today. So obviously, these cards are used for our very young learners and young learners, so anything sort of from 5 going up to probably about 11, 12 years old. So tend to be the lower levels of the school. Okay. Now, basically, the idea is in every lesson, a teacher, awards points for the students for outstanding behaviour, great behaviour, good use of English, getting answers correct, and so forth. And so they put points on the board. But similarly, they can remove points as well for bad behaviour, silly behaviour, and any of those things, and Matt Groening's card 2. Okay, so the idea is you award points, you take away points. If a student, for example, gets 10 points in a lesson, they're given an alphabet card. Okay, and if a student, or when a student, I should say, okay, oh, by the way, yeah, they can swap their cards as well, very much like trump cards. It's a great idea. So they're not all just collecting the same letters. Okay, and just moving on. So when they collect 10 alphabet cards, regardless of the letter of each alphabet card, they actually get a small prize, okay? And they also get a certificate as well for their parents. I do apologise, a spelling mistake of certificate there. Here's the example of a certificate. It's in Polish. Congratulations to Mr. Sean Walden for getting 10, or I think in this case 20 alphabet cards. Congratulations, Sean. And this is given to the parents. Okay, along with a small gift as well. Okay, and the same thing happens as well when they reach 20 alphabet cards, regardless of the letter. They get another prize and another certificate as well. The important thing is to involve the parents, make the kids feel special. Okay, but the first lucky student in each class who collects all 26 different alphabet cards. So the idea is they've got to swap their cards. Gets a special prize. Okay, this may be like a board game or some toy of some sort. Now, I'm sure a lot of you might be asking the question, well, hang on a minute, what about the fact that we might be getting all 26, too early? Well, we kind of cheat the system a little bit because we actually remove one of the alphabet cards from the collection, and we don't put it in until May, so basically they managed to get all around sort of towards the end of the year. Yeah, okay, but it works. Okay, so yeah, I know we cheat them, but trick them, but it works fine. Okay, so that's our alphabet card system. Okay, but the thing about alphabet cards, kids, little kids, it's all about me, me, me. That's what they think about all the time. Me, me, me. Okay, so for the teenagers, it's not about me anymore. It's about peers. Now, what do they do in front of the peer? Peer pressure. Okay, so for teenagers, we use the point slider. Okay, now this is a physical slider that sits on the board. Okay, and here's one I made earlier. It looks like so. It's always permanently sitting and stuck on the board, and at the beginning of every lesson you start at 50 points. Okay, so for great behaviour, great use of English, outstanding work for any student, the points go up by 5 points all the time. Okay, but similarly for excessive use of L1, that's a whole different topic. I'm not going to go down that path, but bad behaviour, lack of homework, missing books, just silly little behaviour, things like that, it will be going down by 5 points as well. Okay, and basically at the end of every lesson, the teacher totals the number of points and they record it. Okay, and the classes compete against each other in a league. Okay, and the league looks something like this. Okay, we used to do it so it was actually all the different classes in the level, but we realised that wasn't fair because there was always one class which was always winning all the time. So we have a league system, very much like football. Okay, so we've got Premier League, Division 1, Division 2, Division 3, and of course they can join the other divisions throughout the year. This happens 3 times because it's after every 20 lessons, okay, we choose the winner. Now, basically what happens after every single time, every 20 lessons when there's a winner, the class with the most points in their particular league wins, wait for it, drumroll, pizza. Yes. So basically we're not dangling a carrot in front of our students, we're actually dangling pizza, and yes, teenagers do like pizza, adults do as well, but it works. Okay, it works well, and yeah, teachers get to have a slice as well, so there's no complaining. So that's it, that's our point slide system, and yeah, great job. Moving on, if everything else fails, yeah, so those 2 systems do, if they do fail, which they shouldn't, we do have a discipline system as well, which is basically red and yellow cards. Okay, here's the fantastic Linda Moon, one of my teachers displaying the cards. These again sit on the board, always on the board permanently. We have this one, which is a verbal warning. Okay, so if there's a misdemeanor, the teacher literally either shows that to the student or writes the student's name next to this on the board. If the same student repeats another misdemeanor, it doesn't necessarily need to be the same one, but another misdemeanor in the same lesson, then they get a yellow card. Okay, I feel like a referee at the moment. And finally, okay, a red card if it's really, really serious. And if it's a red card, then the student's sent down to see the director who has a word with them in Polish. Obviously, if it's a really serious offence, a misdemeanor in class, we can go straight onto the red card. But, we use these yellow and red cards minimally, okay? We're not here about punishment, okay? The idea is to use motivation, okay? And as you mentioned, yes, it is extreme motivation, but it works very, very, very well. So my question finally is, why do they work? Well, you can ask, you can type away, why do you think they work? But in my theory, it's basically because they're positive, especially the alphabet cards and the point side are there, positive motivation. It's not a form of punishment. Okay, I mean, I've seen teachers in the past where they do punish students and they want to humiliate the student, and that should never ever happen. Okay, and finally, they work as well. Here at IHT, they work because they're standardized. Okay, they're standardized across the whole system. Now, as I mentioned earlier, lots of teachers have great ideas, and that's fantastic. However, to really fully get this working, the ideas should be the same for all levels, all classes across the whole school. Okay, so it doesn't matter if a teacher uses a great lesson, idea in a lesson. Make sure that all teachers are implementing the same classroom procedures, and then it will work. Okay, so that's it from me. I'm pretty much over. It's about 16 minutes, but I was interrupted by Neil. So I don't know if we've got time for any questions, but do feel free. You can obviously type away questions as you go on. And if anybody would like to email me for more details about the procedures, please drop me a line at standish.toren@inthouse.pl. Okay, so thank you very much, guys. It's been a pleasure. Speak to you soon. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you very much, Glenn. That was great. I think we'll let you off that extra minute since it was so interesting, and we will.
That's fine. Cheers.